This video is about polygons. Specifically, we are going to talk about interior angles under a polygon. If you don't know what a polygon is, this is just a quick one, right? So here, assuming this is just a closed shape with a line segment, right? So what I mean by that is that this is a very simple one that we know. This is a one line segment, another one from here to here, and then from here to here is also another line segment. Remember, I said that this must be closed, right? If it is not closed with the line segment, we don't call it a polygon. So every shape, this one has three-sided shapes here, right? So this is what we call a triangle. Now, what about the four? The four is going to be a quadrilateral, and then the five, that is going to be a penta, and so on and so forth. Though all that matters here is that you have to make sure that this is what with the line segment and what with a closed shape, right? Something like this is not, let's say something like this is not a polygon, because this is a curve. Remember, the definition is that it must be what a line or segment, even though it's closed, but it's not what a polygon, right? So that's very simple. So here, talking about the interior angles, here is that the angles that are falling within the polygon, that is what we are looking for. Is that okay? So this is one angle here, this is another angle, and then this is also another angle. Of course, this shape here has three different angles within. So the angle within the polygons is what we are calling what the interior angles, right? So how to determine the interior angles of a regular polygon is what we are going to cover in this video. So make sure that you stay to the end for more tips on it. From the question, we are told that the sum of what? That's the sum of what? The interior angles of n-sided shape, right? So the sum of the interior angles. So what I said, and the angles are within. Of course, that shape, we don't know what that shape is going to look like, because this is just a line segment, right? So let's assuming this is a polygon that we are dealing with. So the sum of the all angles within this what polygons here is what we are looking for, right? So the sum of the interior angles of the regular polygon here, the n-sided shape. So n there means that we don't know the number of sides, unlike the previously. Here we had three, right? So if something goes like that, is a four, but here we are talking about the n, which we don't know yet. We are going to find in just a few seconds. So n-sided polygons here is what 100 and what 160 degrees, right? So that, oh sorry, maybe 1620 degrees. That's the sum of the interior. So if you sum all these interior angles according to the question, right? So if you sum all these interior angles here, I'm going to have 6020 degrees. Okay, so what is the question asking? Say to determine the values of the n. That's what the question is asking. So we know that the n here is the number of sides, so we want to determine the number of sides. So what do you have to know in order to solve this problem? Now, these are the two things that we can gather out of the question, right? So we also have the hint on what interior. Of course, you have the opposite of this one. That's going to be the exterior, right? So you have the interior, you have the sum of all the angles, the interior angles, and then we want to determine the values of the ends of the shape. So this is one thing you must know, right? So you must know that this is just a definition, right? So you must know that the sum of interior angles, remember I said angles, there are many angles of a regular polygon here, a regular polygon, right? So there is a regular polygon here is equal to everything here is equal to, that is what we have, n minus 2, and then multiply by 180. This is just a definition. If I say that this is a black whiteboard marker, use it against the whiteboard. It's a definition. You just need to go for it, right? So here's what you are going. You must know this thing in order to solve this type of problem. Why do you have this thing? Because based on the information given to you, we are given the sum of all the interior angles. So this is the definition. So the sum of all the interior angles must be equal to this one. So if you replace just this part, right? If you replace this part here, which is the sum of all the interior angles of a regular polygon here, by the number given to us, that's also 1620, right? So 1620 here is going to be what? This definition here. So okay, we are just replacing, we are not doing anything more. That's why you need to know this definition in advance. So we have what n minus 2, everything being multiplied by 180 degrees, right? So from here you can easily solve this method. So let's see how to do that. So this is the equation that we are having. So from here you have what 1620 that's equal to n minus what 2, everything multiplied by what 180, right? So our n here is going to be the number of sides. So that's exactly what the question is asking us to find, right? So how do you proceed? Remember, you have to take off this bracket. So you have a 1620, right? That is equal to this guy is multiply everything in the bracket, right? So 8 multiplied by that 180 multiplied by the n here is equal to 180 and then we have what here multiplied by that one, that should be equal to negative 360. Okay, remember there's a negative here. So here we are going to do our addition. I guess you should pause the video, come back and come and check this solution. Congrats for trying, right? So this is the lay down procedure. You have this thing equal to that, so we are going to add 360 to both sides of the equation, right? So once you add that, this guy vanish here. Okay, so you have this one 1620 plus what 360, that's equal to that. So here we are going to divide both sides by the n, that's by the 180. That is what we are looking for, right? So we divide here by 180 and then divide here by 180. So we are going to have 1980 divided by 18. So the answer is 11. That tells me that the shape of the polygon that we are dealing with has what 11 sided shape. Is that okay? So perfect. Now what's the name of what? I guess you should give me the answer of this. The name of what 11 sided shape in polygon, right? So what's the name of that polygon, right? So give me the answer in the comment section. So let's have a look at the more trickier part of this problem. From the question, we are told that two angles of what? A pentagon. So a pentagon here has what? How many sides? So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe something like this, 5, right? So maybe from here you can see that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Is that okay? So assuming this is a pentagon, then we are giving that two angles of this pentagon are in ratio 2 is to 3, right? So two, right, just two angles. Is that okay? 2 is to 3, and then the other is what are 60 degrees each, right? So here will be what 60 degrees here, and then here can also be what 60 degrees, and then finally let's say here is also 60 degrees. Is that okay? So the others are in what 60 degrees. Now we have what these people are into this ratio. Is that okay? Now, what the question is asking us to first to calculate what the smaller of what the two angles. So the smallest here is what we are going to look for, right? So how to do that is up next. Okay, since this is what a pentagon, right? So this is a pentagon. We know that this thing has n to be equal to 5 because it has what n sides. So what do we know here? We know that we are dealing with what interiors or angles, right? So interior angles of what a pentagon here. That tells me that if I sum everything together, that is going to be n minus 2, everything multiplied by 180. Where our n here is just the 5, right? So if you replace it by 5, so that is what n minus 2 multiplied by what 180. So the answer to this one is going to be what 540 degrees. Okay, so meaning that if I sum everything here, I'm going to have 540 degrees. Is that okay? Now the next one is that how do you arrive at the values of these two people? These two people are being shared into the ratios of 2 is to 3. Is that okay? Now let's sum everything together and equate it to what 540 degrees, right? So we are summing everything and equate that to 540. Why are we equating that? Because we know that if you sum all the interior angles of a regular polygon, this is what I'm going to get based on this definition, right? So let's do that. So that is going to be 60 here plus another 60 plus another 60 here plus 2 of what a. This a here can be any letter. That is a constant proportional, right? So because we are told that everything has been shared to 2 is to 3, these two people are sharing to 2 is to 3. Is that okay? What are they sharing? They are sharing just this a. What remains? Is that okay? So this a here can be any letter. Any letter can be any letter of your own choice is accepted, right? So the most important thing here is so plus what plus the next one that will give us what 3 of what of the A, right? So what remains out of this one is what these two people are sharing to the ratio of 2:3. Then everything here is equal to 540 degrees, right? So very perfect, very perfect and straightforward. So now we need to determine the values of what the A. So how do you do this? Very simple. You sum everything together. Remember, these two people are what they have a common letter, right? So that's what algebraic expression. So great. Sum all the numbers here. So I'm going to have a 180 degrees, and then this plus this one give you 5a. That is equal to 540. So here we are going to subtract 180 from both sides of the equation. So here we are having a 5a. That is equal to 540 minus 180. Right. So now let's proceed from here. I guess we should continue from this point. Come back and come and check this finish. Okay, perfect. Now, here we have 5 is equal to 540 minus 180. So if we subtract all this, that's going to give me 360, right? So we divide both sides by 5, and then you have the values of the A to be 72 degrees, right? So once we had the A here to be 72 degrees, then the question says that you should find the smaller angle, right? So you are going to determine the smaller angle. Which one among these 2 and 3? Of course, this is going to be the smaller. So we had the A to be 72. That means that we are going to have 2 multiplied by 72. Once again, give me the answer for to this thing in the comment section below. So this value here is going to be what the smaller what angle that the question is asking us to find.